Now at 9, we take a look at where you can go to eat in Jasper County. Pay it forward and help others in need of a hot meal. Plus, how a Pittsburgh business is making sure our nation's troops can keep their feet warm this winter.
82 years ago, Japan surprised the U.S., attacking Pearl Harbor, throwing the nation into World War II. I'm Rebecca Castor in Washington with a look at the Day of Remembrance coming up.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
This is KOAM News at 9 on Fox 14. I'm Tanya Bach. A semi-truck driver is dead following a crash in Montgomery County, Kansas. Semi-truck driver. It happened on US 166 near the northern junction with US 75. 64-year-old Gerald Boley of Newkirk, Oklahoma was eastbound when his semi failed to negotiate a curve and overturned. Webb City Police last night arrested a man who led officers on a chase. It started when officers spotted a man at a Casey's store who was wanted for outstanding felony warrants. That wanted man drove off in a van, which went over the median on MacArthur just east of the roundabout before crashing into a culvert and then catching fire. The man then ran away but was quickly caught by police. He was treated for non-life-threatening injuries. Authorities say he will face additional charges from the chase. Chief Meteorologist Doug Hetty joins us with a first look at weather.
Well, it definitely turned out to be a super windy day for us today. Also very mild, but we had winds gusting at times near 45 miles per hour. And it's going to stay windy tonight and then into Friday, even into Saturday, but they're going to come down just a little bit. Look at our highs, 68 record highs, 78, 50, and 30 is where we should be for this time of the year. It's Thursday. New drought tracker always comes out on Thursday, and it's still dry, Joplin to Pittsburgh, but the worst drought really from Nevada, kind of curling around toward Independence. So we need some rain. We do have some rain in the forecast, just not tonight. We have pretty much clear skies, but we're tracking this next storm system, which is going to head toward us as we get into Friday. But look at our temps tonight. We stay into the 50s for overnight lows. Of course, we're going to look at those rain chances coming up here in just a bit.
All right, thanks, Doug. Well, we're in the peak time to buy a real Christmas tree, but some Christmas tree farms are feeling the sting after last summer's scorching weather. KOAM's Amber Jenkins spoke to one tree farmer in Webb City who's experiencing record sales, but is worried about the long-term impact of dry weather.
Spreading Christmas cheer at Bridgestone Tree Farm means inspiring young minds to learn about the years-long effort to grow a perfect Christmas tree despite the increasing odds.
Yeah, the drought last 2 years have been really bad for Christmas trees. And probably not just Christmas trees, but agricultural in general.
Johnson already sees an impact on his trees after 2 dry seasons in a row, and he says customers are going to see an impact if this upcoming season is just as dry as the previous seasons.
We lost probably 75–80% of what we did plant, and so we just replant the next year and hope for the best. But that's 2 years in a row. If we don't get better conditions this next year, we probably will see a shortage in Christmas trees in 6 years.
It's not just Johnson's Tree Farm dealing with these challenges. According to the National Christmas Tree Association, supplies of farm-grown trees started being tight in 2016 due to several factors, one of them being pests.
You see a little bit more pest damage when you have drought conditions, and so you got to keep an eye on that, and it kind of changes the way that we approach that aspect of the tree farm.
Johnson prepares all his trees to be pest-free when sowed, but customers can prolong the magic of their tree with
water, water, water. You definitely want to make sure that tree has plenty of water, especially the first couple weeks.
Reporting in Webb City, Amber Jenkins, KOAM News.
Well, next year, Johnson is rebranding Bridgestone Christmas Tree Farm to Johnson Family Farm. Well, Landmark National Bank in Pittsburgh is helping to collect items for Operation Santa Paws, a month-long charity drive to benefit the SCK Humane Society. Some needed items are dog toys, cat food, dog food, and cleaning supplies like Lysol wipes and paper towels. These items can be dropped off at the bank, 2300 North Broadway. The event runs through December 21st.
Personally, it makes me feel great. I've been involved in animal rescue a lot of my adult life, and I've personally adopted animals from rescues and animal shelters and have actually rescued some animals So it just makes me feel great.
Operation Santa Paws runs through December 21st. Well, a shoe business in Pittsburgh is collecting socks to give to troops for Christmas. It's Shoe Sensation's 8th annual Socks for Troops fundraiser. All Shoe Sensation locations will be collecting socks, as well as having socks available for customers to buy and donate at a discount. Socks collected from the Pittsburgh location will be donated to the local Kansas National Guard Armory.
Those folks are our friends and our family. It's really important, the work that they do for us, and so it's our company's way of giving back just a little bit to them for everything that they do and sacrifice for us.
Last year's Socks for Troops fundraiser collected more than 50,000 pairs of socks. Well, small business in Reeds, Missouri is offering prepaid meal tickets for those in need. KOAM's Fernanda Silva was there and showed us how the initiative works.
Tracy Ardem saw an inspiring and creative Facebook post. Minutes later, she decided to take action and make it a reality in her own business. Now, customers at 666 One Stop are greeted with a sign that reads, "If you're hungry and have no money, these meals have been paid for in advance."
I'm not one of those people who are like, gosh, it'd be nice if, if this would happen. I'm like, well, let's make it happen. Let's do it.
Prepaid tickets hang from the sign for customers to choose from. Anyone can take a ticket and hand it to a cashier so they can offer the meal. But asking for help is not always easy.
A gentleman was kind of looking at our menu and he was looking at the prices, and so one of my employees stepped in and she said, hey, we have this pay it forward meal now. She said, if you're hungry, she said, you can redeem one of these, and so he did.
Just feel people, have empathy, and I think we all kind of click with that and can tell. You can tell.
The initiative started during the holiday season, but the plan is to keep it going.
We will continue that until the end of time here.
We live in a rural community where they're pretty poor, and there's nothing around here. This gives them an opportunity to have something hot on their bellies.
A way to warm up bellies and also hearts.
The more that we can do, the better off we all are.
In Reeds, Fernanda Silva, KOAM News.
Donors can choose the meal they want to offer. In almost 3 weeks of having the sign up, the business owner says they've received multiple donations. That's awesome. Well, Frank Fletcher Subaru in Joplin today shared the love with the Ronald McDonald House. Employees of Frank Fletcher presented a donation of more than $8,000 to Ronald McDonald House charities of the 4 states. 100% of the donations go directly to support the Ronald McDonald House.
Mr. Fletcher had agreed to present this check to the Ronald McDonald House because we feel like that this is more important, especially around this time of the year with Christmas coming up for families.
This is the 10th year the Ronald McDonald House Charities of the 4 states has partnered with Subaru for the Share the Love event. Kansas Governor Laura Kelly announces nearly $2 million to support Kansas children exposed to drugs. The funds will go to 18 Kansas service agencies in the first round of all hands-on-deck grants or Drug Endangered Children of Kansas. Thrive Allen County and Iola will receive more than $111,000, and the Wilson County Health Department in Fredonia will receive $130,000. Coming up, with the rise of artificial intelligence in the doctor's office, we'll see how it's being used to detect cancer. New research shows using cell phones can have long-term health effects for teenagers. Researchers in South Korea found that using cell phones for more than 4 hours a day can create issues for adolescents. The team analyzed the data of more than 50,000 teenagers between the years 2017 and 2020. They found that teens who used their devices for more than 4 hours had a higher percentage of substance use, stress, and suicidal thoughts compared to those with less screen time. Artificial intelligence quickly is becoming a big part of the healthcare industry. Fox Business correspondent Lauren Simonetti has a look at how AI is being used to detect cancer.
Artificial intelligence is increasingly being used by hospitals to detect and diagnose disease like cancer, but also as a lifeline.
Without that pathology service, they literally would not get the care, and the mortality and death in our country would go up.
The College of American Pathologists is lobbying medical schools and Congress to increase the number of residencies for pathology and change visa requirements for foreign students studying here.
Currently, someone can literally go through 6 years of training and then have to go back to their home country to work for 2 years, and some of them may not ever come back.
Some health centers have turned to artificial intelligence to fill the gap. Quest Diagnostics uses robots like these to screen tissue samples hundreds of thousands of times a day, and machine learning platforms like Paige to act as the ChatGPT for cancer diagnosis. Paige was developed with Microsoft, trained on 1 billion images from Memorial Sloan Kettering.
We have products for prostate, breast cancer lymph node, and also for colon cancer.
It is the only product FDA approved to detect prostate cancer. What makes this image suspicious of cancer?
This area in the image has a particular cell morphology, the size and the shapes of the cells relative to the others.
Is that the purple dots? Or the pattern of them?
It's the pattern that the pathologist reads to discern cancer. Exactly right.
How accurate is this tool?
There was a validation study that showed what was the diagnosis via the AI and what was the diagnosis via pathologist, and they had 100% concordance in the validation study.
Wow. While impressive, adoption will take both time and pickup from insurance companies. They'll need to see that AI boosts productivity, reduces error, and saves them money. In New York, Lauren Simonetti, Fox Business.
Well, Doug is next with a complete look at the forecast, and later Pitt State officially introduces its new head football coach, Tom Anthony.
Well, it turned out to be a super windy day for us tonight. Still windy outside right now. It's going to stay windy tonight, tomorrow, and even into the weekend. You can see our camera shaking a bit. This is our Cornell Arts and Entertainment Complex Tower cam. Of course, this is downtown Joplin. We're looking off toward the north and to the east. You can see the flags whipping in the wind, and it's gonna stay on that windy side as we go through the overnight hours. All right, it's been mild, upper 50s yesterday. We added about 10 degrees on it today. We're still gonna go into the 60s tomorrow, but we are gonna start to cool down a bit as we go into the weekend. Look at these southerly winds, 15 to 25. Look at our gust, near 40 at times. Again, it's gonna stay windy as we go through the overnight hours. In fact, let's go to about 2:30 in the morning. Not 40 anymore, but still winds gusting 30, 32-ish. As we go through the day on Friday, southeasterly winds 20 to about 25. Now there's a front in our northwestern counties, so a little calmer for you guys, Iola, Chanute, Yates Center. Then out of the other direction on Saturday, northerly winds ushering in cooler air, gusts 20 to 25 once again. So we're going to be dealing with the winds for a couple more days. All right, 50s tonight, so we stay mild. We shoot back into lower 60s tomorrow. Clouds are going to increase after midnight tonight. We're tracking our next storm system to our northwest. But look at this, one chunk of energy here. Another one is out here. So if we go through the future, watch where these two chunks go. One shoots to our north, takes all the energy with it. One to the south takes the energy with it. We kind of split the difference, so it means that we're still going to get some showers, but the bulk of the energy rotates around us. Not too much going on by next Tuesday. Then we'll track our next system, which will start to affect us late in the week next week. All right, let's deal with system number one, the one that will affect us on Friday. Clouds increase tonight. We'll stop at 6:30 in the morning. Temps setting mainly into the mid-50s. Scattered showers start to pop up. This is going to be early afternoon. These are going to be very scattered, very light, mainly along the north of I-44. Hit and miss showers through the afternoon. By evening, we could see a couple thunderstorms, especially southwestern Missouri, and then these are gone after midnight. Northerly winds, clouds build in. So cloudy day on Saturday. High temperatures, quite a bit cooler, only right around 50 degrees. Now the rain's going to be very scattered. It's going to be very light, which means most of us, we're not going to get much. Maybe a tenth, maybe a quarter of an inch. That is about it. Day planner for you, 55 to start, 60 by noon, 61 for a high. Showers increasing by the afternoon. 50 on Saturday, so much cooler. 45 on Sunday, also kind of chilly. Rain chances back in the forecast once again late next week.
My, oh my, that wind. All right, thanks, Doug. Well, coming up, we check out the new guidelines for holiday tipping. 'Tis the season to think about rewarding the people who help us all year long. But in recent years, holiday tipping has run up against inflation, record credit card debt, remote work, and more. Karen Kafa is in Washington with a look at the new and old rules for tipping.
It's time for end-of-year thank yous to those who make life a little easier.
When it comes to holiday tipping, the easiest thing to think is that it's really holiday thanking. It's a time to say thank you to the service providers in your life.
Amid high interest rates, rising credit card debt, and lingering inflation, it might be challenging. But as Americans face more options to tip every day, Bankrate's Ted Rossman says they seem to be drawing distinctions with those they see more often.
Everything from complaining about the pre-entered tip screens to thinking that we're just being pressured too much and tipping has gotten out of control. I think a lot of people are separating that. Now, maybe some of it is that holiday cheer and goodwill.
The Emily Post Institute has a full list of holiday tipping recommendations on their website, emilypost.com. Some examples: for a regular babysitter, up to 1 evening's pay; for a dog walker, up to 1 week's pay or an equivalent gift; for a barber, up to the cost of a haircut or a gift; for a trash and recycling collector, $10 to $30 cash or a gift if that complies with municipal rules; and for a handyman, $15 to $40 or a similar gift. But Lizzie Post says those are just guidelines. It's the sentiment, whether cash, homemade treats, a small gift, or just a card, that really matters.
You might not be able to afford to hit all of them on your list, and that's okay. You can always write a card stating your appreciation to anyone, and this is a great time of year to do just that.
All right, well, minimum wage workers in 22 states will get a raise at the start of the new year. The higher hourly rates are due either to scheduled increases or lawmakers upping the minimum wage in their jurisdictions because of inflation. Come January 1st, 7 states and the District of Columbia will have minimum wages of $15 or more. 20 states are still using the federal minimum wage of $7.25, which hasn't gone up since 2009. Up next, 2 brothers in Kansas are using their musical talents to raise money for kids in need this holiday season. 2 young brothers in Kansas have been busy playing music on different street corners every year during the holidays since 2016. They do it to help others, raising spirits and using the money they make to buy toys for kids in the community. Julian Kim has the story.
Their dad came up with the idea several years ago. It lets them combine their love of music with giving back. Harrison started playing violin when he was just 5 years old, and Bennett used to accompany him. But Bennett tells me this is the first year he's actually opted for the piano instead. Now, from Jingle Bells to Silent Night, people at the Lawrence Christmas Parade could enjoy a free public concert. We asked the woman who sat next to them what she thought of their performance.
There's some really good kids out there, and it shows it with him being out here doing that for charity.
I hope that other people could do something helpful, just spread the Christmas cheer, I guess.
That's pretty cool. Well, 30 more minutes of news, weather, and sports is coming your way. Lawmakers are once again pushing for gun control after a week with multiple deadly mass shootings. Plus, ceremonies across the country commemorate the 82nd anniversary of the attack on Pearl Harbor.
You're watching the 4 states' most watched news.
This is KOAM News at 9 on Fox 14. I'm Tanya Bach. Renewed calls for lawmakers to take action on gun control after 2 mass shootings in 3 different cities this week. Fox News correspondent Madeline Rivera has more from Washington.
Students and staff at the University of Las Vegas who had been prepping to wrap up the semester are instead coping with the deaths of 3 people after a gunman opened fire Wednesday. Just the day before in Texas, authorities say a suspect went on a shooting spree, killing 6 people, including his parents.
When will it be enough?
We are in crisis, and we cannot continue to live like this.
The tragedy in Texas marked the 39th mass shooting in which at least 4 people were killed this year, 3 more than a country's record in 2022. The milestone comes as Connecticut lawmakers marked 11 years since the Sandy Hook Elementary School shooting where 26 people were killed, 20 of whom were children. They repeated their calls for more gun measures.
We don't have a choice. This is a moral imperative, not just a political obligation. It is a moral duty for this country to stop gun violence.
Shortly before the shooting in Las Vegas broke out, Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer tried to pass a ban on assault weapons by unanimous consent. Republican Senator John Barrasso opposed the request.
Democrats' ban on assault weapons is an assault on lawful gun owners.
After this week's mass shootings in Austin, San Antonio, and Las Vegas, the United States Conference of Mayors issued a statement urging Congress to take more action against gun violence. In Washington, Matthew Rivera, Fox News.
With anti-Semitism reaching a fever pitch on college campuses across America, presidents from some of the country's top universities are facing major backlash after dodging questions during a congressional hearing on the topic. The presidents of Harvard, MIT, and UPenn are failing to flatly say calls for the genocide of Jews on their campuses are against the rules. And now some are attempting to clarify their answers, but some members of the public say it's too little, too late. Today marks 82 years since Japan's attack on Pearl Harbor, and surviving World War II veterans are urging Americans to learn the solemn history of that day. Fox News correspondent Rebecca Castor went to today's ceremony at the World War II Memorial in Washington, D.C. to hear their stories.
The battleship Arizona, just after the explosion that shattered the mighty giant.
82 years ago, Japan's surprise attack on Pearl Harbor killed approximately 2,400 Americans. And on Thursday, a small group of Pearl Harbor survivors traveled to the hallowed site of the attack to pay tribute to the fallen service members across from the wreckage of the USS Arizona. And veterans traveled from across the country to the World War II Memorial in Washington, D.C. to share their wartime stories, stories some worry are being forgotten.
There's so few of us left now that the story is not known too much about World War II at all.
Harry Miller enlisted in the Army at age 15. He lied about his age to fight in World War II. At age 16, he fought in the Battle of the Bulge with the 740th Tank Battalion and later served in the Air Force.
It's sad to me. For instance, my battalion was just over 800 people. Today, there's only 3 of us left.
Today, World War II veterans hope the next generation will be ready to answer the call to serve.
It was a terrible time for our nation, and it should be remembered that we should be prepared for those unknowns that occur.
They can't get anybody to join the police department, more or less join the Army, Marines, or anything like that.
Less than 1% of Americans who served in World War II are still alive today, with just over 119,000 of them still here to give their firsthand accounts. From the World War II Memorial in Washington, D.C., Rebecca Castor, Fox News.
A bit later, we'll have some tips on finding the right gift for the seniors in your life.
Well, it turned out to be a super windy day for us tonight. Still windy outside right now. It's going to stay windy tonight, tomorrow, and even into the weekend. You can see our camera shaking a bit. This is our Cornell Arts and Entertainment Complex Tower Cam. Of course, this is downtown Joplin. We're looking off toward the north and to the east. You can see the flags whipping in the wind, and it's gonna stay on that windy side as we go through the overnight hours. All right, it's been mild, upper 50s yesterday. We added about 10 degrees on it today. We're still gonna go into the 60s tomorrow, but we are gonna start to cool down a bit as we go into the weekend. Look at these southerly winds, 15 to 25. Look at our gust, near 40 at times. Again, it's gonna stay windy as we go through the overnight hours. In fact, let's go to about 2:30 in the morning. Not 40 anymore, but still winds gusting 30, 32-ish as we go through the day on Friday. Southeasterly winds 20 to about 25. Now there's a front in our northwestern counties, so a little calmer for you guys. Iola Chanute Yates Center. Then out of the other direction on Saturday, northerly winds ushering in cooler air, gusts 20 to 25 once again. So we're going to be dealing with the winds for a couple more days. All right, 50s tonight, so we stay mild. We shoot back into lower 60s tomorrow. Clouds are going to increase after midnight tonight. We're tracking our next storm system to our northwest. But look at this, one chunk of energy here. Another one is out here. So if we go through the future, watch where these two chunks go. One shoots to our north, takes all the energy with it. One to the south takes the energy with it. We kind of split the difference. So it means that we're still going to get some showers, but the bulk of the energy rotates around us. Not too much going on by next Tuesday. Then we'll track our next system, which will start to affect us late in the week next week. All right, let's deal with system number one, the one that will affect us on Friday. Clouds increase tonight. We'll stop at 6:30 in the morning. Temps sitting mainly into the mid-50s. Scattered showers start to pop up. This is going to be early afternoon. These are going to be very scattered, very light, mainly along the north of I-44. Hit and miss showers through the afternoon. By evening, we could see a couple thunderstorms, especially southwestern Missouri, and then these are gone after midnight. Northerly winds, clouds build in. So cloudy day on Saturday, high temperatures, quite a bit cooler, only right around 50 degrees. Now the rain's going to be very scattered. It's going to be very light, which means most of us, we're not going to get much. Maybe a tenth, maybe a quarter of an inch. That is about it. Day planner for you, 55 to start, 60 by noon, 61 for a high. Showers increasing by the afternoon, 50 on Saturday, so much cooler, 45 on Sunday, also kind of chilly. Rain chances back in the forecast once again late next week.
All right, well, don't forget, you can be the first to know about the day's weather with the KOAM Skywatch weather app. Get severe weather updates sent straight to your phone, free of charge. It's available in the Apple App Store and the Google Play Store. It's called the KOAM Skywatch weather app. Coming up in sports, Pitt State football introduces its new head football coach. Plus, Missouri Southern basketball plays its first conference home game tonight. John Dales has highlights from that and more up next.
Today, Pitt State introduces Tom Anthony as its new head football coach. This coming on the heels of Brian Wright leaving for a D1 job at Northern Arizona after 4 seasons at the helm of the Gorilla program.
You always hire coaches that you hope do really well and get recruited to other places, and that's been our goal in all the staff, all the coaching staff that we've hired in the 14 years that I've been here.
Coaching, it's really like the only thing I've ever known, never been good at. So, I definitely miss coaching. Didn't get out because I, stopped loving coaching. Got out it was a time kind of in our lives with the age of our kids. It just seemed, like the right thing to do for our family at that time.
Over to college basketball, Pittsburgh State and Missouri Southern Hoops each play their first MIAA home games this evening. Missouri Southern women's basketball at home for the first time this year. Lions facing Central Oklahoma. In the first half of this game, Lions trail by 4, but Caitlin Honeycutt knocks down the jumper. That eats into the deficit. Shortly after, tie game, and Ryan Franklin rattles it in. She had 21 points off the bench tonight. That helped big time. But then it turns into the Caitlin Honeycutt show. She knocks down the 3-ball in the corner to give the Lions a lead. Later in the half, Honeycutt drives to the rim, somehow gets that ball to go through and the foul as well. So we go into the second half, more of the same. Honeycutt drives, finishes this time with the left. Then one again from beyond the arc. She knocks it down, 25 points for Caitlin Honeycutt, a new career high for the senior. Missouri Southern goes on to win this one easily, 86-65. Final score is the Lions win their first home game of the year.
I like how we bounced back today, especially on the offensive end. We shot the ball extremely well from inside and the perimeter. And the other thing is we got to the free throw line.
No, this is huge. We've kind of been struggling a little bit, trying to find our rhythm on offense, and finding all 5 of us on the floor working together on defense. So to be able to come and get a big win today at our first home game it's huge, and it's a big confidence boost for us.
Meanwhile, Missouri Southern men's basketball loses to Central Oklahoma. Final score in that game, 73-63, although Vincent Signum Jr. leads the Lions with 19 points in a losing effort. Pitt State Women's Hoops plays its first home game of the year tonight. Gorillas up on Newman by 20 at halftime, keeping the foot on the gas pedal in the second half. Nice crossover from Grace Pyle. She finishes with the righty layup afterwards. Later on in the third quarter, Corinna Gerber had a big game in this one. She works down low, turnaround shot is up and good. Next possession, similar play and same result. Gerber down low, scoring. Gorillas leading by 23 points midway through the third. Then again, here's Pyle. Crossover, working to perfection. She finishes with a double-double on 17 points and 11 rebounds. Oh, and Gerber also has a double-double. Scoring through the contacts here, 10 rebounds, and she leads all scorers with 22 points. Gorillas roll to a 92-43 win over Newman in their home opener.
Definitely just sharing the basketball, taking good shots, finding, the open player and making the right plays, I think definitely helped us, and just getting into a flow too, I think is what we've been trying to find all season. Is our best basketball is when we're in a flow, when we're sharing the ball, when we're just being great teammates out there.
And PSU men's hoops taking on Newman as well. Gorillas start out flaming hot in this one. Jordan Fryson glides to the bucket and scores, gives the Gorillas the early lead. A couple of possessions later, does the same, finishing through contact. He'd get 11 points on the night. PSU gets it done on defense as well. Carter Jelmstead with the rejection. Gorillas score 14 of the first 16 points of the game, and they didn't let up. RJ Forney drains a wide open 3-ball. That stretches the lead even further. Then Max Alexander, even with a hand on his face in this 3-point attempt. As the shot clock is winding down, he hits it. Still in the first half, Fryson then driving, dishes it down to the big man, Braden Red, who hammers home a dunk. This one never in doubt. Pitt State snaps a 3-game losing skid. Final score 82-66. Big day for Pitt State athletics, those 2 basketball wins, and then obviously Tom Anthony introduced as the new football coach.
For sure. A little more background on him?
Yeah, he was the defensive coordinator for Pitt State under Brian Wright. He stepped away from coaching for 6 months this past spring up until now. He said there was only one job that would bring him back to coaching. It was Pitt State's head football coach.
And there it is. All right, thanks, John. We'll be back with more news after this. It's the season of giving, but sometimes it's a struggle to find the perfect present for the seniors in your life. So how about giving a gift that can help keep them safe? Mandy Gaither has a gift list that can help brighten a senior's life even after the holidays.
This holiday season, give the gift that keeps on giving to the seniors in your life.
And so this is a great time of year to think about some of those opportunities that can help keep people living in their homes safely, give them a sense of independence.
Orthopedic surgeon Carmen Quatman with The Ohio State University's Wexner Medical Center says for the traveling senior, think about accessories like a vehicle support handle to help them get in and out of a car safely, or a lumbar support pillow to help with pain and stiffness.
There's little pillows you can buy for camping that you can just put a couple of little puffs in, stick behind your back, put it under your legs for long car travel.
Quatman says to help them stay hydrated with a personalized water bottle, or for those who have hand trimmers, weighted utensils and writing instruments can be a perfect present.
But it can really help with some of those day-to-day activities that can be really frustrating.
For the gadget-loving senior, smart devices for the home can be helpful.
Beyond music or making a quick order, they can be great for setting timers for medications. They can be great for helping someone who struggles to dial on their phone if they have arthritis or have different difficulties with technology.
Finally, Quatman says a ride service gift card for Uber or Lyft can empower adults.
Transportation is a key to feeling like you're mobile in your community.
Well, coming up, it's normally cats climbing up trees, but we're going to tell you about a German Shepherd who found herself in the branches. A puppy in California might be a kitten at heart. She's going viral for climbing a tree despite being a large German Shepherd. Jeannie Mose introduces us to Luna.
Cat in a tree? No big deal, but who let the dogs out? Who let the dog up in a tree?
I can't believe we found her.
Luna, the 10-month-old German Shepherd, was missing from her Lotus, California home all day and overnight. Her owners and their friends searched the woods. Luka Bogdanovich was driving an ATV.
Look left. I'll be darned. I see something in a tree. And I went, holy cow, that's the dog.
He said, I got good news and bad news. I found your dog, but she's 30 feet up in a tree.
Owner Brian Spees, a painter, got his extension ladder. Was she happy to see you?
No, she was just frozen in the tree.
Though her wagging tail wasn't frozen. Brian carried her down the ladder. He figures Luna was chasing a squirrel right up the leaning tree, then got her leg pinned under a branch. This is going to sound like a tree pun, but Luna didn't bark? Nope, not even when Brian was calling her name and whistling. Right by the pine she was stuck in. Maybe next time Brian will be barking up the right tree.
If she ever gets lost again, we look up because she can climb trees.
There's a first for everything. That's our time for tonight. Thanks for joining us. We're going to leave you with video of meerkats at the Whipsnade Zoo mailing their Christmas list. How cute. Have a great night and an even better tomorrow.